Hi, everyone. Today we have the fabulous Natalie Cutler-Welsh from Go2Girl. And Natalie, I am so excited to have you here today and for you to have found the time to come and chat with us. So
Hey.
hi.
Well, thank you, Anita. I'm excited to catch up with you.
That is fantastic. And Natalie, you have been in business and you started the Go2Girl about 4 years ago. Is that correct?
Yeah, yep, that's right. It's not quite 4 years ago. I actually moved up here to Auckland in New Zealand
Mm-hmm.
from Christchurch after the earthquake, and just actually ended up tapping into some of these skills that I've always had, and then of course creating a business out of it, which has just gone from strength to strength and joy to joy. There have been some challenges for sure, but I am just loving working with women entrepreneurs around the world.
Oh yeah, and that is your audience, isn't it? It's women entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's right. So women who have their own business. So some of them are solopreneurs and some of them actually have some staff or some virtual assistants working for them. But they're all trying to get I help them to shine the light on their business and get the word out using social media and networking.
That is absolutely fabulous. And I know you're doing an amazing job, Natalie. And I know you did start out having to build your audience and having to build your business. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about, some of the struggles when you started out and how that made you think about your business and how that made you expand and grow as opposed to going, look, I've had enough and I'm giving up.
Yeah, well, so we moved up from Christchurch, and for those people that are listening from further afield, you might be confused by my accent. So I'm originally from Canada. I'm living in New Zealand. I actually am a full-blooded Kiwi, but we were living in Christchurch. We had the earthquake, which many people know was a huge event. So we
Mm.
ended up moving cities, and I had a newborn baby at the time, but of course, I didn't start my Go2Girl for about a year, but it really got to the point where we needed the money. And I was
Yeah.
running a coffee group for mums and biz. I called it Mumpreneur Coffee Group because I was writing my book at the time. My book is just behind me. It was all about parenting. And so I wasn't really a woman in business because I was a blogger and a podcaster and I was writing a book. But I
Right.
wanted to unite all of these women who were all, they had their product or they had their service and they just didn't have a community. They all worked for themselves. They worked from home. So I united them and I ran a business coffee group essentially. And then after about a year of doing that for free, my husband said, "Do you think you can monetize that?" And that's when I said, "I guess so." I was really nervous about it at first because, it's hard to go from offering something for free to then putting a price tag on it. But it's been a journey, and I've slowly been changing my offerings based on what I find people really need help with and where my gifts lie, where my talents lie. And then slowly again, changing those offerings into packages. And it's been an amazing experience.
Oh yeah, and starting out like that, and I love the husbands that kind of come back and say things like, "Do you think you could monetize?" Because they do make us think a little bit differently sometimes about our business, and so do coaches and mentors, and that's what you do with businesses. You help them on their online journey.
That's right. I mean, some of the ladies, I have an online mastermind group, which is an amazing group of about 50 women. And a lot of them in that group, there's some people in this category, I guess, where their husbands are in the when are you going to start making real money mode. And so they come to me going, I love what I'm doing, but it's not really paying the bills. It's not really worth the time. How
Yeah.
can I grow this? And so we look at what they're offering. We look at who their ideal client is and how they can, leverage their business model, like tweak things slightly, or just reach a way bigger audience, depending on exactly what they're offering, be it
Exactly.
products or services. So I love figuring that stuff out. And then they get to bounce ideas off each other, test out, hey ladies, here's an idea for a Facebook ad. Which of these images would you click? So it's this great group of women you can trust to help you grow your business.
That is absolutely phenomenal. And I know that mastermind group really is so close, and it's such a great group for, for getting information and for bonding and really testing. And as you said, being in a safe environment, because sometimes it's a big bad world out there, and people can be a little bit cruel. We know that they can be a little bit online. So having that nice safe environment makes a big difference, especially when you're stepping out, and especially when you kind of feel that you've got a hobby, but you're moving it to a business and you're growing it as a business.
That's right. I mean, people can be cruel online. That's right. But I think we can be so hard on ourselves as well. You know,
Yeah.
we scroll through the Facebook feed. So many of my ladies, they're looking at others, beautiful glossy photos or status
Yeah.
updates where they only share the bright and shiny side of life. And they're really comparing themselves. And I say, you know what, ladies, nobody's got it all figured out. Everyone has their ups and downs. We're all on this journey. We're at different stages. So just let me help you enjoy the ride, and let's celebrate our successes, and let's just help ourselves through the hard times, and it's all good. We can focus on what we love doing.
That is absolutely phenomenal, Natalie. It's really a big space in the market that you're filling there at the moment. And now you went off to San Diego at the beginning of the year. You went on to the social media conference. It's one of the biggest conferences in the world, internationally. And I have to tell you, I was jealous because I couldn't make it, but I was so glad that you had gone, because you picked up so many things and you brought that back to New Zealand. So tell us a little bit about that. And what I'd like to know from you is, how do you see us here in New Zealand positioned to the rest of the world? Like, what are we doing right? What are we not doing right? What do we need to do more of? What are your views?
Yeah. Well, great. I mean, I had an amazing time. I'm sorry you couldn't join us. So it was Social Media Marketing World.
Next year.
Yeah, for sure. There's about 2,000 people at the event. So for those people watching that haven't really heard of it, it's a huge event. And for me, it was a monumental event because I had not been back to North America for about 14 years.
Wow.
I was in America. I'm from Canada, but I hadn't been back that way for so long. It was so amazing to go there. And of course, at home was my husband with the 3 children. So for me, it was huge on a number of levels, just to have that quality time to focus on what I love in my business. So that was great. And what I realized, Juanita, is we are actually doing really awesome. And, I went with Catherine Newton, my friend. She's a business coach as well. We came away going, yep. We actually learned a lot of things, because how can you not? But we also realized we know our stuff and we are well positioned, and we could easily see ourselves up there on the stages doing the presentations.
Yeah.
So it was really reaffirming to know that us here in New Zealand, we're actually at a really similar level. What we are not so great at is singing our own praises. Right?
Yeah.
Kiwis love to just play it down. They don't want people to think that they're think they're above themselves.
Yeah.
So we're quite humble. I'm Canadian, so I'm happy to just, shout it from the rooftops, but I know Kiwis are a bit different in their nature. So I just wanted to reassure the Kiwi audience to know, you guys we're all doing an amazing job. We are, we're not behind the times at all. And so it was just reassuring to know that. And what I also loved, of course, is coming back and bringing all the goodness that I learned there back to my audience here, and doing an event based on sharing that knowledge. And of course, I've been sharing that on my podcast as well, and within my mastermind group to the online community as well.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, that knowledge is absolutely invaluable. And you know what I really loved? I loved the fact that you took the time, you took the money, and it would have been an expensive event that you went to, because you would have had to pay for your flights, your accommodation. The event itself, as far as I know, would have been over $1,000 US to pay for that actual event. So that would have cost you a huge amount of money. That is an investment in yourself and your business. How do you feel about that? Like, I know you believe in it, but what would you tell other people out there about their own learning and their own journey?
I think it's so great that you pointed that out. So I probably spent just over $3,000 to do that trip. And of course, it's a business expense, which is great. And my business, it was no problem for me. I'm earning enough. I can definitely do that. But the go-to girl a year before that would not have been able to go on that trip. I would have loved to, but I would not have been able to afford it. So I think everyone's on a journey. And really the golden nugget that I've got for people is, the sooner you start investing in yourself and your business, the faster your business will grow. Okay. So when I first started out, I was really good at making money. I didn't want to spend any money. So I was very frugal. I didn't pay, to get a proper accountant. I just tried to do it by myself. I didn't really know what I was doing on Xero. So then I had to get the accountant to tidy that up. I I just didn't invest in any business coaching. And as soon as I started getting some business, even just buying some online courses and just up leveling, and then I went on a business retreat, and I did invest in some business coaching. And then recently I've up leveled again. I've invested in a higher level. So I think everybody should have a business coach. And I'm going to be the perfect coach for some people. I'm high energy. I'm very action orientated. I'm lots of fun. That's not going to be suited for everybody. But I work with women entrepreneurs who are at that point where they're just ready to make their business rock, And that's who I work with. But I just think everyone should have a business coach of some sort, and investing in your business, you will get the payback, tenfold.
And I love what you said when you said, you that is you, and exactly who you are, and you may not be suited to everybody, but guys, if you're out there, really do find yourself a business coach that can actually help you grow your business. Find the right coach for you. A business coach makes a huge difference in your business. And I would highly recommend Natalie, if you are a woman in business and you really want to move your business ahead. I mean, she is absolutely phenomenal. Now, Natalie, in saying that, and of course you're phenomenal because I have you speaking at the social media conference on the 18th of September. And thank you so much for agreeing to be one of the speakers. I'm really excited to have you there. I love your energy on stage. I love your humor on stage. You're absolutely amazing, but you give really great messages. Now, without giving away too much about what you're going to do at the conference, can you tell me a little bit about what you're going to cover there? What can people expect from you?
Yeah, well, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so honored to be on the panel. Really, there's Facebook, Google, GoToGirl. I love it.
Facebook, Google, go together.
Yeah, and of course Anna Stretton. I mean, amazing speakers. It's going to be an incredible event. So I encourage people to hurry up and book your ticket if you haven't already. There'll be about 200 people there. So I'll be on the stage speaking about right after lunch. So I'm going to wake everybody up. I'm going to be speaking about 7 secrets to social media and networking. So I'm going to dive deep into I'm going to geek out a little bit and talk about some of my favorite online tools that I'm, and I'll talk about the value of showing people a window into who you are, by using Periscope, which is one of the latest new tools. There's a lot of other ways you can do that, of course, with video, podcasts, webinars, etc. So I'm going to be talking about some of that stuff, as well as just some simple things you can do to connect with your existing contacts that you've already got to make sure that you look good online, how to attract a bit of media attention. I mean, there's all sorts of goodies in there, and they're all under my 7 secrets to social media and networking.
That is fabulous. And I know, because we don't want to give away too much here, but you guys, if you can make the social media conference, please book, just to come and see Natalie is so worth it. And just to pay for seeing her is so worth it. And of course, as you said, we've got Facebook and we've got Google and we've got Anna Stretton and we've got Troy from Spark and we've got Cassie from Air New Zealand. There's a huge wonderful range of speakers, and of course we've got the MCs who are Jam Mayer, who is very well known in the social media circles, and Chad Michael. So it is going to be amazing. But back to you, Natalie. So tell me a little bit about how you juggle your family and your work life. Yeah. So because you seem to, and I know you said it's not all roses, and I know you said we all have our ups and downs and things, but you seem to have worked it out. You seem to have worked out your strategy for your business and for juggling your kids. Tell us a little bit about that.
I would say I'm still working it out. So just to clarify, I've got a 4-year-old who obviously hasn't started school yet, a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. So I've got 2 at school, 1 at home with me. He does go to kindergarten 2.5 days a week. So what that means is I essentially have 15 hours every week to work. Now, because I love my work and there's so much work to do, all entrepreneurs know that the to-do list never ends. And it's really up to us to add the buffer and the boundaries to make sure that we don't overwork ourselves and we're not working all the time, particularly in our children's presence.
Yes.
So as you know, I wrote a parenting book, which was all about the joys and challenges of parenting.
Do you want to grab it and show us?
Yeah, well, sure. One sec.
Sorry.
So here it is.
Just throwing you out there.
Yeah, and we got great media coverage. I mean, we're in the local stores here in New Zealand and Whitcoulls and Paper Plus, and we were on Breakfast TV and Good Morning, and actually going on the radio next week. We're going to be at the Baby Show, my co-author and I, Jackie. You know, we talked about the joys and challenges of being a parent and particularly a mother and trying to figure out where we fit in, not only in our new role, but also the friendships, like the mommy friendships and the in-laws and all that kind of stuff. But the great thing now when I work with women entrepreneurs, and a lot of them are moms, is we're trying to, I call it juggle the mother load. We're trying to run a business while we're raising kids while not compromising ourselves. We're so often women, mothers, put themselves kind of at the bottom of the heap. You know, we take the food that doesn't look quite so nice, you know, or we don't do the exercise that we love doing because we just don't have the time. You know, there's so many things like that. So I really encourage, you know, I'm on the journey. I have not got it sorted by any stretch, but I'm slowly learning how to prioritize myself and my time so that I'm not either always with the kids or always working. I actually have some time for myself as well. And that's a huge part of what we wrote about in the book as well. So yeah, it's definitely a journey. But one of the simple things I can say that people can do is literally block out buffer time. Like I went into my calendar yesterday and I typed in buffer above and below some of my meetings. I do one-on-one coaching with only a few clients. And then of course I have my online mastermind group that I coach as well. And I need to put buffer in because otherwise someone's just going to come in and they're going to book that spot and I'm just not going to have lunch or I'm not going to have a break. And I need to book in time for myself I have my power walking podcast time every week when I love listening to podcasts and I do my power walking. I can't really run anymore because of my bad back, but I can definitely walk. So I think it's a matter of putting in those buffer and boundaries and not trying to do everything yourself. And this really comes back to outsourcing if you can, and trying to focus on doing what you love and not to do everything and not to compare yourself to other moms or other business owners.
Absolutely.
Because then that you're just going to make a tricky situation for yourself if you do that.
Actually, while you're talking like that, you know that Leon J is going to be at the social media conference. And for those of you that may or may not know Leon J, just to let you know that he is the co-founder of Fusion HQ, which is an online system pretty similar to, what is that system? Fusionsoft.
Infusionsoft, yeah.
Yeah, Infusionsoft. So it is, I think the Fusion HQ was out before Infusionsoft, but I stand corrected on that. But Leon has some amazing formulas that he actually uses in business because he's done it. I mean, he's been through businesses, failed, started again, and he is a millionaire through online. But he has got some amazing formulas that he will be sharing at the conference about outsourcing and you know, how you actually grow your business by using specific simple little formulas. So that is going to be fantastic. And you're going to be sitting on the panel with him at the end of the day.
I'm going to be rubbing shoulders.
I know it's going to be really cool to hear what you guys have to say when the audience just throws all those questions at you, and you know, to hear all the answers that are going to come out of that would be so invaluable.
I'm excited. It's going to be amazing. I mean, just the people that are going to be in the room, like you know, in the audience, the people that are going to be on the panel. It's going to be an incredible day. In fact, I just had some clients here with me, and they're wanting to book. They're like, "Where do we book? We want to book 2 tickets." So cool. I'm excited.
Cool. Well, I'll tell you what, you know that we do have one of the speakers that have actually sponsored some of the tickets. So if you guys want to get onto that sponsorship, you can. And you can do that by typing in www.socialmediaconference.co.nz. We've made it simple because it's a social media conference. And then if in the coupon code, if you type in, and this is going to be the hashtag for the conference as well, and the coupon code is SM for social media, CON for conference, CON, and then NZ for New Zealand, because we do distinguish it out for New Zealand, and the letters 15, and that is because of the year. So it's SMCON NZ and the number 15 behind.
Oh, 15. Add the 15.
You want to add the 15? We'll pop it up there.
That's great.
Pop the 15 up there.
So does that give them a sweet deal?
That gives them a really sweet deal, because the tickets at the moment are $497, and they will get $200 off the ticket now while that sponsorship is still on. But once that sponsorship ends, they won't get that deal anymore. And they'll know if they go in there and they can't use that code anymore. So I'm really encouraging you to get out there and get that. I mean, if you cannot tell me that you cannot spend just off $300 for a conference that is going to accelerate your business, and you're thinking with people like Natalie bringing all her knowledge from San Diego, that is huge. As I said, I would just pay to watch you for that amount speak, you know. I mean, that's how incredible it is. I had somebody else say the other day when I was on radio talking about social media, I had one of the guys there saying that they'd pay that to see Anna Stretton. So, you know, there is just so much that you can get out of it.
Oh, completely. And don't be frugal like I was in the early days of my business. I think investing in this, it's such a no-brainer. But correct me if I'm wrong, Juanita, this conference is for people whether they're just starting out or whether they've been in business for like 9 years. Correct. And everyone in between, right? Because you can always learn more from where you are.
Correct. And so you will take away, it's like any conference that you go to, you will take away what you need at this moment in time. And you will have those aha moments as each speaker speaks about things. Now, remember that for me, social media is about scaling. So you scale up and down, right? You know this, Natalie, and we talk about scaling up and down. It doesn't matter how big or small you are as a company. It depends on what you need to do at that time, and it depends on what you can afford to do and what's going to work for you right now. So a bigger company, for example, like an Air New Zealand, would have about 7 or 8 people on their social media team helping them, whereas a small business will probably be only 1 or 2 people. And so it is all relative. That scaling up and down is all relative. It just depends on your resources, how big you are, how much you want to do. But the tools, the points, the channels, anything that you learn, doesn't matter what size your business is. Really, it doesn't. But the conference is aimed at small to medium solopreneurs, small, medium businesses. And we do have some of the larger businesses attending, which is cool.
And the networking opportunities are going to be amazing.
Oh, wow. Phenomenal. I mean, even just for the networking, if you know, it is phenomenal. But so just to let you guys know, the cost of the conference includes GST. So if you get it at that special rate, it includes the GST. It includes the full lunches for the day, refreshments throughout the day, and you get a virtual goodie bag. And Natalie has got something really awesome in that virtual goodie bag for you. But what I love about this conference, Natalie, and it is something that we, from our side, really push, is it is a no-sales conference. So in other words, you're not going to have speakers up there selling you their products. It just won't happen. It is pure, good, solid information.
Solid gold. I love it.
Solid gold. And you get to meet these amazing speakers. Who wouldn't want to meet Natalie in real life? If you haven't met her, like, I have to tell you, I was shocked when I met Natalie the first time.
How so?
Well, do you know, because you do have this huge, large online presence, you do. And even talking to you and looking at you like this, people wouldn't know that you're quite tiny. You're a really tiny.
I'm a hobbit.
Well, no, not quite. You're just very, very petite, like extremely petite. But wow, what a big personality she has, and what a big sense of humor. Natalie, you blew me away when I first met you. I went, whoa, man, she's small, but she's big online. And she's big in life as well, like in real life. Come and meet her. You have to come.
Come and tower over me. No, I'm not that tiny. The other thing I was going to mention, so the date is, it's Friday the 18th of September. What's the time frame?
So it is a whole day event. It's the whole day. So that means that we start at 9 o'clock in the morning, but registrations are before that. So we start sharp at 9 o'clock in the morning. So you do need to be there beforehand for registering, and then we end at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously, speakers throughout the day. We end the day with the panel for the speakers, but people can ask their questions throughout the day, and we'll be picking that up off Twitter and off Instagram and with the hashtag. So we'll encourage that throughout the day. If you do have questions, you can ask them. However, these speakers are going to be there throughout the day. So you can come, you can mingle with them at lunchtime, you can mingle with them during the tea breaks. We're encouraging the speakers, unlike other conferences where, you know, they put the speakers at a particular table and keep them all at that particular table, and you kind of feel like you can't go near them. We're encouraging our speakers to swap tables after the breaks, go and sit at different tables, go and mingle and meet the people at the various tables. So we're encouraging the speakers to move around and go meet the people. And so you have the opportunity of having a speaker at some point having a chat with you. So there you go, Natalie. You've got a lot of schmoozing to do that day.
I love it. I love that kind of stuff. And I know there'll be some people thinking, oh my gosh, networking. But just think of it as connecting with people. Like, don't think of it as, you know, hi, here's my business card. It's like you're just striking up a conversation. And for people that are a bit more shy, sometimes if you wear like a scarf or a necklace that's a conversation starter, that takes the attention away from that. Or even if you ask somebody, rather than what do you do, if you ask them something like, so how did you hear about the conference? Or which speaker, you know, did you enjoy most so far? Or what's your top takeaway? You know, something like that, that's not just, what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. And just to remind everyone that is there, if you're looking for content for your own social media, that conference is going to be a big, big plus for content for you. So, you know, while you're there, if you, and I'm not encouraging it, but while you're there, if you can grab Natalie for 5 minutes and say to her, hey, Natalie, can I ask you 2 or 3 questions and do a little video interview, or, you know, a little podcast with her, or you can come and do one with me, I don't mind, or with any of the speakers if they have time, because during conferences we do get really busy and a lot of people want our attention and time. So be mindful of that. But, you know, even listening to the speakers and picking up a few points and writing your own content around that is great for you. You know, you can build your own content around whatever you pick up from the conference.
Definitely. By all means, you can Periscope a little bit of it too.
Sure. Get somebody at the conference to actually to interview you if you're there, and, you know, and just ask you, like, what do you think about what's happened, and, you know, what did you learn from that particular experience, and you pop it out onto your social media. So there's a lot of content that you can create when you go to learnings, not just this conference, but anything that you go to. It's just about having an open mind, you know, through social media and creating. Yeah? Exactly. Yeah. Natalie, look, thank you so much. I really, really am looking forward to having you on that day. I cannot stress enough, people, Natalie is just awesome. She's an amazing speaker. She is absolutely phenomenal. She's really very humorous, and she has a great message to get through. And she does it in such a way. It's like so simple with such a humor in it that, you know, you can't help but take it on board. You can't help but go, oh yeah, that's a cool thing. I can do that in my business. I can. So Natalie, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Just to reiterate, Natalie, if you want to hold up that, can you hold up that code again, that coupon?
Oh, yeah. So here we go.
Up a little bit more. There we go. So if you're booking for the conference, and I will put this into the links as well for you. If you're booking for the conference, it's www.socialmediaconference.co.nz, and the code SMCONNZ15, and you'll get a fabulous discount on the conference. And you cannot tell me that you cannot afford to pay that for your own learning.
You can't afford not to be there. Yeah. It's gonna be invaluable.
Phenomenal. Natalie, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Great.
Now,
Thank you so much, Juanita.
thank you, guys, and thank you very much for joining us today, and see you soon. Juanita from the Online Business Academy.